Y'all, we're going to take some easy stretches, some ball comfort yoga, and we're going to find a couple of new approaches to plow pose. It's just a great way to get our legs up over the heart and have fun, just change our perspective in the world. Okay, so come on over to the mat. You're going to need a couple of blocks, maybe a chair and a blanket. So let's begin cross-legged. Let's take one of our blocks, maybe two if you need the height. And remember, we did this before. We can scooch our block forward, but this time I'd like you to bring it to where, if you're coming down pretty far, to where your forehead lands on your block, like this. And if you don't come down that far, make it to where you can put your elbows on your block and your forehead on the heels of your hands. So don't press on your eyes, but just get it so that your face is facing the floor with some support. And you can jimmy around if you need it to be a little bit lower, or even stack another block on top and make it even higher so that you can find this position. This is just going to put some nice gentle pressure on your forehead and maybe clear out some sinus congestion for you. So let's come on back in. Let's reverse our feet. Let's take our forward fold to the other side. So you pick the variation that works for you. In any case, we want to have some slight pressure on the forehead. Let's start finding our breath. Make it smooth and steady, breathing in a little deeper than maybe you normally do. And take this in kind of a relaxed way. Let yourself go a little bit heavy and kind of falling into the posture. Pun intended. So let's inhale our way back up and take our block back in towards us. So we're going to take one leg out, leave the other leg bent, just like this. So on our straight leg, we're going to put our block, and let's see if we can bring an elbow there. Maybe we need to do two blocks, or maybe even one and then the other in the higher position. It depends on how tight we are through the inner thigh. The other hand comes to the top of your thigh. And we're not pushing down on the knee, but we're going to hinge forward a little bit. So we're just kind of rocking forward, and you're going to feel this traveling through the inner hip. So it's just a way to get into the groin a little bit in a gentle way, and you're in control. And again, I want you to feel a little bit heavy, a little bit relaxed here. None of these postures that we do this time are going to be postures of a lot of effort. They're going to be postures where we want to be introspective, and we just want to find our way into them slowly over the course of a few breaths. Now let's go ahead and come back up. Use as much support as you need. And we're going to bring this leg in, stretch the other leg out, place our supports in a way that makes us happy. We've got our hand at the leg, and we're going to just hinge a little bit forward and back. This foot can be, kind of semi-flex. It doesn't have to be in a point, doesn't have to be in a hard flex. Just let your foot be natural, but the toes are more or less pointing up. So kneecap toward the ceiling. And your sitting bones, they don't have to be absolutely touching the ground because you're moving, but the hips fairly even with each other in relation to the floor. So let's just take another hinge or two. And we'll work our way back up nice and easy. Let's keep our lift. Let's help this leg to come forward. And so we're going to trade legs again, only this time the leg is straight out in front of us. We can have our supports right here in front of the bent leg, and we're going to work our way forward and just relax down into the block. So again, we're in that forehead supported position. If you need to put your elbows and your hands on top of the block, that's fine. Okay, so you find the way that works for you. And again, just relaxing, going heavy into it. See if we can find some relaxation in this knee. If you need to give the knee a little bit of a rub, you can certainly do that. And we'll inhale back up slowly. We'll help this knee to come up, stretch out our leg. We'll bring our other leg in. So the sole of the foot is touching the inner thigh. Your thigh is not on your foot, okay? And if you need it, if you're feeling discomfort in this knee, in this position, you can scooch your foot down to the knee, even as low as the ankle for this. So it doesn't have to be all the way up. So you find a good, comfortable place. Also, you could take a block and place it under the knee as well. Okay, so we need to watch out for that. So our other leg is just straight out in front of us, and we're going to release forward into the forward fold, Janu Shirshasana. Let's just take another couple of breaths right here. We'll use our hands for support. We'll inhale our way back up, nice and easy. Take our supports out to the side. Now we'll take both knees bent. Okay, so we've got our soles of feet to touch at least the pinky toe edge of the foot. We can open up our two big toes like a book if your feet will do that. If not, just keep them together. You can hold ankles or you can interlace fingers around the tips of the toes. Again, let's think about those knees. If we need to support using our blocks, we can. We're not going to be here all that long. We're just going to sort of even out the experience. Okay, so we're going to move on into, so this is Baddha Konasana. And now we're going to lift the knees and slide our feet forward, making a little bit of an elongated diamond shape. And we're going into Star Pose. So we've got our supports, whatever's going to work for you, kind of placed in between the calves. And as we relax forward, we let our forehead find support. Now, if this does not feel relaxing for you at all, then stay upright. But if you can, see if we can move, into this posture a little bit. So you can even place your block on top of your feet if your feet are in that position. Make sure you have some cushion underneath your ankle bones. This floor is kind of digging into my ankle bones a little bit, so think about that. We may want to have some support under the legs here again. Okay, so make yourselves comfortable and just go heavy. Make sure you're finding the breath. We don't want to push ourselves into a corner to where we can't breathe, okay? Just imagine all your troubles just dripping down out of your forehead, into the floor, into the block, and away from you. As we inhale, let's just come up slowly. Place our supports over there. We'll take our knees together, hands on the ground. We're going to do a little kind of windshield wiper knee. The knees together. This is just sort of loosening up the hips a little bit. And coming back to the center, let's take our feet apart. Let's take a breath as we exhale. Just drape forward over your legs. Let your head hang down. So you can have your hands wherever you need them to be. Now you can get a little bit more juice from the lemon, so to speak, if you bring your chin towards your throat. When you're ready to come up, just slide your hands back up and exhale. So you've got your blocks behind you as you turn to sit this way. We're going to hold on behind the knees. We're going to roll like a ball. So you're going to round your spine, hug your low belly in, round your upper back, and drop your chin. So you don't bonk the back of your head. And we're just going to roll out the back a little bit. Just warm it up. Okay, so just pause for a second. And I want you to reach back, grab onto your blocks. Either stretch them out and place them at a full arm's length away from you. And I'm going to make sure my chair is about there too, because we might be using this in a second or two. So here's a fun thing we can do. Using rolling like a ball to give us some momentum to get up into a plow pose variation. Okay, so first I'll show you the variation. It's pretty doable for most people. So we're rolling a little bit like a ball. And we're going to, at some point, roll back. Bring our hands to the back of the hip. And we're going to just tuck our elbows up underneath us a little bit. And this is it. You keep your knees bent, a little bit like an egg. Okay? So this is a good variation. My fingers are pointing toward my tailbone. My thumbs are kind of wrapping around at the hip bone. Okay? So we can hold it right there if we want. If we wanted to go further into plow, we could straighten the legs and find the seat of the chair. We could stay right here. Yeah. Or if the chair were not there, we can reach down and find our blocks. Now, a good thing to do when you're in plow is to interlace your fingers, tucking your shoulders a little more under you so that you get that base with the elbows so they're not flaring out to the side. If you're on top of a blanket like me, the elbows are going to tend to slip. So I'm really glad I have those blocks under my feet. Some people's knees need to bend. It's okay. So when we're ready to come down, we can go back into our egg shape and just slowly, with support of the hands, glide our way back down and just pause and breathe. That's a pretty dramatic posture.
Okay,
So you've just come down from that little supported egg position. We're going to take the counter posture, okay? Okay, so we were just right here. Now we'll come down slowly and we'll take our feet to the ground. We're going to take our hands like this, like you're diving. You've got one hand on top of the other. Both palms are facing down. So your arms are making a V. We're going to do that underneath your seat. So we're going to tuck one shoulder under and then the other. And we're going to keep our hips down, lift our head, and look back, taking the top of the head to the floor. And just breathe right there. If you want to come off your hands, you can sort of ease them out to your side. Palms are pressing down, the elbows are supporting you, so the weight is not in your head. You can easily lift your head. This is called fish pose. You can even bring your knees in and stretch your legs up if that feels good. You can take your hands way out from under you, stretch them overhead, make a Charlie's Angels hand position, and reach out. And come on back, grab outer thighs, lift head, tuck chin, and lie back down. Pause and breathe. Gently release the neck, side to side. Our knees are together, our arms are down. And we're going to take what we did sitting up, only go a little farther. So we've got 2 knees to the side, 2 knees to the side. So you'll feel this is a stretch right around your hip bone into your side waist. And just continue slowly. With the breath. And let's just take it back to the center. Let's bring our knees in, 1 and 2, hug them in. And then we can take our blanket, put it into a roll, and support behind the knees with it as we go into our relaxation posture, Shavasana. So just giving yourself a little bit of support helps to flatten the low back against the ground. And just extend your arms. Let your feet just flap out to the side. Deep breath in, and as you exhale, just let all of your efforts sink into the floor. So, no more worries. Just go into relaxation and enjoy. Okay, see y'all next time.